Hello, this is Rodolfo Gomez, and this is my demo video for the ModelViewer for Milestone 1. So we have our models in this directory here, and I'm going to convert them using this batch file. So the way it works is it uses model convert.exe and the model name, and if a texture is specified, use this texture, specific texture file, and then the output extension. It does this for all 7 models, all from the groups of models that we are supposed to use from. So just run this here. You just let it run, and we wait for all of the files to be done. Alright, we're done here. So we're gonna copy and paste these files, put them into my game engine. So now we build it. And we set up the models in this function here. So we load them up through complex model constructor, takes in the file name and the texture name. And these parameters get passed in. And we create the VAO the same way we've been doing for the other primitives that we have in our system. So the only difference is we eat the file. So then the stuff we get out, we get the model header, place that in the buffer, and then do the data stuff in there. And then we get the vertex data, place that in the buffer. Then we get the triangle data, and place that in the buffer. And then we just do the same thing that we've been doing for creating the VAO and VBO stuff. And the bounding volume sphere stuff is created in here. And then we set it to this model. And everything else is the same to send it to OpenGL. And then for loading the texture in, we do the same thing that we did before. And we get that data, and we pass it to the texture manager. We just add it, passing in those 3 parameters. And it's basically the same thing that the old texture manager has been working with, except we load the data from the buffer that was passed in, instead of using read GL bits in the other one here. We don't use this. I think it's this in here. But that's the old way that we've been doing it. The newer way that I did was the same thing, except passing the buffer, and the buffer goes into the texture to create the texture. And all the min and mag stuff is set through the texture header that's passed in during the conversion process. And also during when the texture manager is created, we get the big texture automatically gets created and added, and for any game object that doesn't use the texture, it gets automatically sent the pink texture through here. This was set through the simple texture constructor, but then the texture name is forced to be hot pink. So let's run this. So we have the space frigate in its normal texture form, and also we have the other frigate that we have that's pink. That has a pink texture by default. And we can spin it around. All of the faces look okay for the space frigate. Then we go to Astro Boy model. Everything looks right in there. And we can turn off the bounding sphere for Astro Boy, and also for the space frigate. And we also have the Warbear model. Also, its texture can be swapped between polar bear and brown. And we can rotate him around, and it looks like all of his bits are there. There's nothing really missing on him, I think. Then we have the Apache model, but the issue I have is the rotor blades are not rendering for some reason. I'm not sure if it's the way the triangle reduction or the divert text data reduction phase, maybe. I don't know if I can fix it in time by when this is actually due. Now we have the buggy. Everything looks right. Everything on top looks right and very correct. But if we go on the bottom, there are missing faces. Yeah, it's the same issue with probably the way the triangle data is, or with the vertice reduction stuff. Then we have the radio tower. Everything looks right on him. There might be some artifacts a little bit in there, but I think that might be with the model itself. You know, with the bounding sphere, turn it on or off, but the origin of it is not really centered. That's because the model itself in the modeling tool, when this object was created, is not actually directly in the origin. So that's why it looks a little bit wonky. And then the watchtower. It's probably the most complex model we have on here. All the textures look right on the model. But if we go on the bottom, again I face the problem of missing faces on the bottom. Yeah, this bounding sphere can be turned on or off also. But the way the origin of the model is not exactly centered. That's because also when viewing this in the modeling tool, this object is not the exact origin. That's why it looks like that. That's why the sphere doesn't line up. So with everything here, you're able to turn on all of the you can turn on all the spheres for most all of the objects on here. So all the bottling spheres can be turned on the objects. And yeah, that should be it for this demo. Thank you for watching and listening.